should handle more gas coming out of our first field, that's Jubilee. The Jubilee partners, Talo and Cosmos, are able to put more gas on stream. And so we need a second gas train to handle that because our current plant in the Trouble cannot handle the extra gas. And then E&I are back, and they are drilling again. And the early signals are that we might find considerable quantities of oil and gas. And when that happens, we're using our gas entirely to produce power. And so we have a gas to power policy. Currently, in our thermal generation, I think about 70 to 80% is gas-fired. But then we have another 20% for which we use light crude oil and HFO and diesels and things. And so we want over the next few years to eliminate the use of liquid fuels and use entirely gas so that we can bring down the cost factor in our power production.
Do you think that is within the 5-year pipeline? How far out would you say that?
Well, I think if we put in the second gas train and E&I turns the taps, we get more gas. Nigeria has also promised to increase our gas supply through the West African gas pipeline. So I think over the next 3 to 4 years, we should be able to eliminate crude oil completely.
Was that something that you came back into office thinking that was important to reset the economy? I wonder how high up on the list of priorities was
the energy sector has been number one in terms of priority on my, to be divine about it, my second coming. And so
it's been a good second coming, I'd say.
Well, Jesus is coming too, so.
That's true.
And so on my second coming, we messed up energy sector with debts of almost 2.5 billion owed to independent power producers, to gas suppliers and everybody. And so what the previous government started it, but we're continuing it. They've been trying to renegotiate the debt and then see how we can ring fence it. We have some strategies for dealing with it. And I'm sure that by the end of the year, early next year, we should be able to make everybody happy, in terms of, dealing with that debt. We need to clean the slate, but in cleaning that slate, we must look at the whole value chain because a lot of the problem is coming from downstream, the distribution end, because of the state-owned utility. ECG is not as efficient in collecting revenue. We are experiencing technical and commercial losses of about 40%. And I think it's only a state-owned enterprise that can survive when you're losing 40% of your revenue. And so we are going into the phase of private sector participation in the billing and metering to bring private sector efficiency in the revenue collection so that we can pay for the power we take from the independent power producers. We established a cash waterfall mechanism where ECG's revenues were supposed to be shared proportionately so that everybody got something every month. Unfortunately, it was not followed, and so a lot of debt accrued. We've gone back to the cash waterfall mechanism and we're adhering to it properly. So everybody is seeing something every month while we fix the distribution end.
You talk about privatization. Have you seen or heard of interest from private investors to tap into the downstream economy?
Yeah, people are queuing up. I said they should wait. We're going to do expressions of interest. We just got the report from the committee that's advising us on how to do it. And they gave us 3 options. One option was to go to one concession holder for the whole country to do the billing and metering. The other was to, if I remember, was to divide into concession areas and have multiple partners working with us in this billing and metering. And so government is yet to take a decision. It's going to come to cabinet, and cabinet will decide on which option we're going for. And then we'll do an expression of interest, and then it's open to, there must be Ghanaian participation, there must be local participation. So even if it's an international company bidding, it must have a local partner.
You said everyone will be happy eventually, right?
I'm sure by next year our partners would be happy because we would have dealt, appropriately with the debt overhang.
Well, and that's been fascinating to watch a number of African leaders like yourself